Hey guys, so what's up? What's up? It's like, what's really going on? I wake up to Monique's oldest son now having a response. I'm thinking it's a response about him defending his mother with the likes of a D.L. Hughley, Stephen A. Sharp, Tyler Perry, and whoever else. Might be some names that she hasn't even mentioned yet. But I'm like, wait a minute now. He is speaking in his truth, his experience, what the son needed to get off of his chest. Now, was this the right time? Can we say? I know for me personally, it's just my opinion, all things alleged. I don't think, sometimes it's like when people say, wow, some things is just never the right time. But so when will be the right time? Or if this is the right time, someone may disagree. But when you can think for yourself and you're in your right mind and you decide for it to be the time, well, he definitely got the floor with all the attention that Monique, his mother, has been given. But to me, I find some of this so ironic with things was just going so well in her favor. She opened up on tour with Cat Williams. And yeah, she did give her apology to Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. I guess she did it Monique style, whatever that did consist of. Then it's like you wake up, the next day, you hear about this warm welcoming, the standing ovation. Like she just really set the place on fire where her and Cat Williams were on tour at. So I'm rejoicing. I'm like, wow, giving kudos, giving praises, like really feeling uplifted in the moment. So then you hear all this back and forth now going on with, see, every day it's like, okay, who now wants the floor? Who now wants to smoke with Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp? You hear about him and Mike Epps going back and forth. Okay, he's calling him out. He's telling him what he looks like, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to repeat any of that. I'm sure a lot of us has already heard it. Then, it's a part of what was being said before. We are so quick to tear each other down. That makes us look. At this point, I don't know how any of this makes us look because people just saying what they want to say nowadays and not even really giving a care. But okay, then I guess allegedly Club Shay Shay and Mike Epps made up, if that was really true, as far as did Mike Epps just really want to try to get on the show, or was he trying to jumpstart his tour as to why he went there? Then you hearing about Guy Torry jumping. I ain't heard that man's name in since like forever. That comedian. But then you wake up to Monique's son, who I thought he said a lot of that going back and forth. Is he a comedian? Is he not a comedian? But either way, he still appears to be this hurt man who was carrying whatever he was carrying from childhood into today's time. But I do know a house divided cannot stand. I think it's a serious matter. I don't think it's anything to make light of or poke the bear about. So hopefully they will get to a place where they can resolve that issue, because we all know everybody's going through some form of something or something that might need to be repaired, because none of these relationships that we have here on earth, because nothing is perfect, is what we call 100. That's why we have such a thing as forgiveness and moving on. Or some people may need to, seek therapy or just have a sit down to talk it out, agree to disagree, or, go on, because that is a lot to have to carry with life when you're constantly carrying something, however many years, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, that turns into 5, 10, 15, and just on and on. I thought the conversation between Monique and her husband, Sydney, who was also her manager, I feel like he had every right to speak. I know sometimes you can start off thinking you're going to talk about one thing, but then things kind of get led into another direction. But obviously, that's a family that just needs to do what they need to do behind closed doors. Maybe Monique felt like she had to have a response along in there to open up the door. Maybe Sydney felt like he did have to have a say since he was brought into it. That is Monique's husband. And, sometimes it's mentioned how there's no protection for the Black woman. Well, you have this man who's standing by his woman, having her back, having his say. And I see nothing wrong with that. I mean, some people are having different sides of opinion, and that's a good thing too. But obviously, we have heard Monique speak time and time and time and time again, even if it is the same thing. We've heard her speak. So now it's been turned into all this personal opinion about her being the type of mother. But that's the son's personal opinion. He has every right to have his opinion. Monique said it on Club Shay Shay. She was busy taking pictures, busy pursuing the red carpet, busy trying to provide basically a life for her kids. Okay? So I've heard some kids say, like now that they're an adult, that they would have preferred that the parent would have been in the home and that they just would have been.
We're having it is a multitude of reasons, but we're going to start off with there was a Instagram that was put up, or I guess
it was TikTok, baby.
TikTok that was put up by
my son, my oldest son, Shalon. And this is what I want to say to this. There are some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged, we watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this though, Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing, because this has been Uncle Sid your whole life. Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her 3 sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has 3 sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
And love that brother. And the irony of all of this is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See, you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago. You're forgetting about how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half of the down payment for it. And you were 31 years of age, 32 years of age at that point. And I'm negotiating the deal with the dealer for you as you sit there. And you have the vehicle you're driving right now because of your mother. These are the things that you're leaving out when you're expressing what you're expressing in reference to your mother. You're not expressing the relationship that you have with your father, where you spoke ill to him, not to mention spoke ill to your mother, but somehow your mother and father and I all have a loving relationship and communicate back and forth because of the love that we have for you. The one thing these individuals, and to the individuals out here that oftentimes speak after they've heard one side of the story, there's an old saying, believe half of what you see and none of what it is that you hear. Please don't take our word for it, but what we will convey is this. Those who are parents and have raised their parents up to being adults.
The children. Raise their children up to being adults.
Right on. Those who are parents that raise their children into adulthood know that there comes a time and a place in which they determine their own decisions, their own path. You can have multiple children that are raised in one house, but they act and they take on different things. The reason why it was so important for us to entertain these conversations that we typically have privately, or that we're influenced to have privately amongst the people in our community, is because we need to stop being embarrassed about being human beings and about being black human beings. You will oftentimes hear us saying we are embarrassing ourselves in front of them. Who is them?
Who are they?
Because when you hear
struggling, barely able to keep the light bill on versus the light bill paid up for years to come, or the water, they prefer the water getting turned off versus the water being able to be turned on for years to come, or they just rather just get it out the mud themselves. If they could have just said, nah, y'all, for real. Hopefully that family will work it out though. This is a lot, and ain't no telling what's gonna be next, or trying to have a conversation. I'm like, oh my goodness, is his biological dad gonna speak next? This is really wild what this has turned into.